We're focusing on some of the budget proposals that were put out last Friday, and one of those proposals that has been suggested is that all external commercial borrowings for affordable housing, that's ECBs, be routed through the National Housing Bank, that's the NHB, and this is something that has been suggested, in fact, by NHB. To discuss that and more, we've got Mr. R.V. Verma, who's Chairman and Managing Director of National Housing Bank. He joins us live on the show. We've also got Mr. D.S. Kulkarni of D.S. Kulkarni Developers coming in on the show. But Mr. Verma, if I could start with you, if you could explain the rationale behind this proposal that you put forward, if you could tell us how this is going to benefit both housing finance developers as well as NHB.
Let me clarify at the outset that the proposal is not actually for routing all the external commercial borrowings through the National Housing Bank. It's more generic in the present form. However, we have in certain discussions and presentations suggested that a large part of the ECB for affordable housing can be routed through the National Housing Bank for various reasons. One is at the apex level, the NHB is well positioned to have to contract these borrowings from the external investors and the lenders as a national level institution, and with appropriate recognition and rating also for the benefit of the housing sector in the affordable housing space. Now, the benefit of NHB being there would be one, we would be borrowing more at the aggregate level, which will give us the economy of scale and more efficient pricing. And also we would ensure that the entire, say the currency risk is also hedged at the aggregate level. And that would also involve, more efficient hedging cost. So we would be passing on the funds which we borrow in the international capital market to the housing finance sector for affordable housing without any risk of the, which are embedded in typical ECB. So, and the borrowings would be contracted at more efficient cost. The other advantage would be that we will have both the channels open in terms of lending it through different housing finance companies who otherwise on their own rating or on their individual basis may not be able to access the same funds at about the same rates. So, keeping in view their own individual ratings and also their small amounts which may they require from time to time. So we can use these funds to lend through the housing finance companies. As also to the on the construction side, where we see the builders or developers, who are focusing on construction for lower end of the market, the affordable housing, we can lend out of these funds to these borrowers as well. So we can use our both windows. One window for accessing resources from the international market, and two for deploying these funds for affordable housing, both through our direct finance window for the projects and the indirect finance window through the housing finance companies. So in a way, it would benefit the sector, and we at the aggregate and the national level intermediary, we will be sort of connecting the real sector, that is the housing market, with the international community, and which will bring a lot of value for potential expansion in the in accessing ECB for the affordable housing market.
Sure, but Mr. Verma, just
on top of that, we have this the withholding tax reduction also from 20% to 5% will make the borrowing even more cost effective.
Right, now, Mr. Verma,
this is something which we are discussing and we are proposing.
Right, now, Mr. Verma, you did speak of the numerous benefits if you accessed the ECBs and then passed that money on to various borrowers. Would it also be right to assume that one of the reasons you are doing this is also to monitor the end use of funds?
It will become more easy and we'll have a better oversight of where the funds are getting deployed, and we will be in a position, of course, to monitor the end use of funds as well, which is always a concern in respect of ECB.
Sure, Mr. Verma, just hold that thought. I'm going to take it to Mr. Kulkarni. Mr. Kulkarni, With respect to some of the takeaways from the budget, what would be your opinion on the same, and what would you make of some of the implications that were doled out for the real estate sector?
So, firstly, I will clear this affordable housing point. Okay. The affordable housing, as per the government definition, whose income is less than the 1 lakh rupees. That means a nearly salary of 8,000 rupees per month. The 8,000 rupees per month salary means he can afford the 4,000 rupees per month EMI. So 4,000 rupees EMI means hardly he will get the 4 lakh rupees loan, and flat apartment price should not cross than more than 6 lakh rupees. In a city, like any city, main city of the India, 6 lakh rupees house is impossible. So it is only possible if somebody bidder go to the villages where is no any infrastructure is available, and if he bid there, then only this scheme is applicable. So I'm always worried and surprised how the government gives this type of scheme, which is not a practical. Forget the Bombay, but even a Nashik, Kolhapur, Solapur, or any 2-tier or 3-tier city, whether the house is available for 6 or 8 lakhs, nobody is thinking it. So naturally, I don't think any benefit will go for this affordable housing finance, because affordable house means 25 square meter house or 40 square meter house, and that house should be bought by the LIG group, and the government, as per my knowledge, government limit for that, the salary or total gross income is 1 lakh rupees per annum. That is their definition. That is the thing. Now this budget is never helpful for the real estate sector, because the excise, service tax, everything, whatever we required, all the material for our construction, is the price has gone on hike. I think the burden will pass on to the customer now by the bidder to the customer, at least 200 rupees a square feet. That is the minimum construction cost is going to increase, and it will hamper the total business, because the total cost, not only the real estate side, the people purchasing power due to the various taxation and excise, the custom and the service tax, all the purchasing power will be reduced, and naturally it will hamper the car segment, housing segment, and all this essential segment. That is my opinion.